Hello. So we have to talk about a very fast facts about DepEd's modular learning. So everything I would say is actually taken from the column of Bonds Magsambol in September 22, 2020. Okay. So let's begin with this question of how does modular learning work? So on October 5, public schools will reopen in the middle of a still untamed corona outbreak in the country that has so far claimed over 5,000 lives and left 4.6 million Filipinos jobless. So, despite calls to postpone classes until 2021, the DepEd maintains that educations of millions of Filipino students should not wait. So, to make sure that learning remains unhampered, DepEd will be implementing a distance learning approach. So, what is this distance learning approach? This is a learning delivery mode where interaction takes place between the teacher and the students who are geographically remote from each other. So during instruction, this means lessons will be delivered outside the traditional face-to-face setup. So, as technology and internet connectivity remains a problem for most students, DepEd will be providing a printed module materials for them. So, in other words, no need to buy gadgets because printed materials will be given to the students. In fact, Education Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio rather, said that almost 13 million public school students, or 59% of roughly 22 million enrollees this year, will be using printed modules that would require um, felling on enormous number of trees to produce paper. So, to give you an idea, Senator Ralph Recto, he is an economist, stated that 93.6 billion pages of learning modules for millions of public school students will be needed for just one full academic year. So imagine, so that would be the effort that actually the people of the government are doing. So how does DepEd modular learning work? So under DepEd printed modular learning system, student will provide with a self-learning materials, or also known as SLMS. So how does it will be done? So of course we have this process of distribution and retrieval. So first, the student learning materials distribution mode. So in terms of distribution, the SLMS, or student learning materials, will be distributed to parents before the opening of classes. So for students whose parents are not available to get this from schools, there will be a designated pick-up points in their barangay. So the student's learning material is inserted with, what do you call this one? WHLP, or work home learning plan. So the work home learning plan is attached to the module. So aside from student learning material, work plans, mm, aside from student learning material, work plans will also be distributed to students. But unlike student learning material, this will be given to student weekly, as this indicated the students of lessons and activities the student will have to do every week. Again, parents or anyone who will who will guide the student at home will be the one who gets from the teachers in designated pick-up points. So after the distribution, the student will going to answer that desired activity, and then after which, after 1 week, we have this called our retrieval mode. So the retrieval mode, accomplished acting sheets will be retrieved by teacher from parents. So they will have to submit the activity sheets, or some schools required activity notebook. They were going to submit that to the teacher in school or in designated pickup points. So this kind of setup, however, poses risks because teachers and parents raise concern over using the modular learning approach due to fear of contracting the coronavirus. So, even though the DepEd said they will coordinate with the local government units, or known as the LGU, for the distribution of the learning modules, especially in high risks area. So teachers will still have to retrieve them in designated pick-up points. So this means that they will have to go out and expose themselves to their communities. So that is the mode, distribution mode, retrieval mode. So how are the students going to rate or assess? So this, we have this third mode, assessment mode. So in assessment mode, student learning progress will be assessed through summative exercise and performance tasks. So DepEd said that schools will not be holding periodical examination for these school years to prevent distance cheating. So while DepEd acknowledged the importance of periodical tests in assessing students' understanding of the lessons. So, Education Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio said that the pandemic compelled them to be more creative and flexible in implementing summative assessment schemes without sacrificing the assessment's credibility. Actually, San Antonio also advised teacher to do occasion conversation with student throughout, so they would know their learning progress. Deep Ed shifted the distance learning for coming school year to comply with President Rodrigo Duterte directions for students or for schools to delay face-to-face classes until a corona vaccines becomes available. So as of September 22, some of 22.3 million public school students have signed up for the school opening on October 5, while 2.1 million students in private schools have enrolled. So some private schools began holding classes during the first week of August. So this is an update with regards to this kind of pedagogy implemented by the DepEd. So I hope you guys that you like it and you understand. If to those who are not yet familiar with my vlogs, please click the notification bell and subscribes to my YouTube channel, Rafael Inson. So until next time, thank you and God bless.